Hello, hello. How are you today? Make sure I'm all right. Let me go and fix my hair. I'm just playing with you. I'm really excited. Uh, very, very excited today. Welcome to Deaf Woke. I am Antoine Hunter, also known as Purple Fire Crow. I want to acknowledge the land that I reside on, Ohlone, the tribe, the land that was stolen from the Ohlone people. Wherever you are, please go ahead and acknowledge the land that you reside on. Again, my name is Purple Fire Crow, Antoine Hunter. I'm honored to be here with you today with my friend, Christopher Smith. But before we start, today, Tuesday, April 13th, 2021, I'm going to go ahead and have my interpreters show up. Where y'all at? Oh, good to see you guys. I hope everything is well. Thank you for serving us today. I am so joyful. Mr. Christopher Smith, Black, queer. He studied at Columbia in Chicago. He had a one-man show called Lena and Me. It was he's a hero. But his hero was Lena Horne. He's going to chat with us today to share his experience. When I saw him perform at Gallaudet, what he told me, go ahead and be yourself. Because of his words, he inspired me. And it's an honor to have Christopher Smith.
Well, hello, hello. Wow. Antoine, what an amazing show. Thank you so much for having me here. How are you?
I'm great. How are you? That's my first question.
I am
My first
Great,
question
how
for
are
you is,
you?
how are you?
I'm fabulous. I am living, thank you.
Where were you born?
Well, I was born and raised in Chicago, Illinois. Being from Chicago was a rough upbringing. I grew up deaf and queer. Wow. And Black, the intersectionality of my life and living in Chicago wasn't the most welcoming of environments for me, especially my queer identity. I remember growing up, and even in my family as well. And mind you, I love my family, I truly do. However, they didn't understand who I was growing up queer and the environments that I was in at school.
Well, question for you. Is your family hearing, deaf?
Oh, that is a good question. My family is hearing. Yeah, yeah, they are. And I love my father. I love him dearly. But growing up deaf and having a relationship with my father, I just I remember growing up wanting to play with dolls. And, my father not wanting that, he was stubborn in his masculinity and was insisting that dolls were only for, girls. And even my mother said, "Oh, hon, no, no, no." And so I had to hide who I was, hide in a room alone in solitude in order to express myself and to play with the dolls and to do what I truly wanted to do. And that was my experience growing up. My family, eh, we still don't see eye to eye. It's their attitude is so ingrained and they're unwilling to change their point of view.
So you'd mentioned, they as you were growing up, they were trying to force an identity on you,
Yes.
but that you had a femme identity. How did you get through day by day? How did you get just how were you so resilient?
Good question. The worst part, looking back, was elementary school. Elementary school, it was. Most of the boys there, they called me sissy. They treated me in a derogatory manner. And looking back, I was friends with the girls. I was a part of the shows and the performances and performing art, and I loved that. That was so much better of a fit for me. But the girls, they were wondering where my skills came from, and I was like, "Oh, it's not my fault, I'm just naturally talented." And so it was like a constant performance. In high school, that was an interesting experience. I think a similar experience.
Yeah, so you
Mhm.
found someone similar to you.
I did, yeah, I found another high schooler, Calvin Coleman. His last name is Coleman, Coleman. And he was in the theater department of school as well. So, short story about him. He was 22 and I was 17 at the time. I looked up to him. He exposed me to so much about my queer identity and the theater as well. And it wasn't until he was 22 that some really bad, horrible things happened. He was murdered at 22. It was horrific. And I remember, I was in high school. I remember the last time that I saw him, I had a sense, but I remember that night. That night we had an argument. A friend of mine showed up and he was crying. I said, "What's wrong?" And he said, "Do you know what happened to Calvin Coleman?" And I said, "No." And I was only 17 at the time. Remember, I was only 17. And he told me, and that's how I found out.
So when what was the first thing you thought of? Wh- Would you think like, why?
Can you say that again?
Yeah. So when he passed away, what was the first thing that came to mind? Were you aware of why, or
No, it just happened out of the blue. I don't know why. He wrote the student paper, and the Chicago Sun Times, they they published a piece, and his mom told me that he went to a bar, north side of Chicago, and it was a gay bar, so he was out there, and around 3 or 4 in the morning, on his way home. Oh, wait, 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 let me back up. Okay, I'm remembering more clearly now. Coleman lived in a bad area, a rough neck of the woods, and there was some rumors going around about the lotto, that had some money. He won the lotto, and so that was going around the neighborhood. And so this is going around that, oh, Coleman's got some cash. And so when he went to the bar on the north side, he was walking, again, early in the morning, and someone came up and was like, "Yo, give me the cash, give me the money, give me the money. Where's it at?" And he had a gun, and that's how it happened. He shot him, I think, a few times, and he stumbled. He stumbled home. His mom heard what happened, and he stumbled home and fell, and that's how he died. If he died in front of his mother. And at that time, when he stumbled in front of his mother, for the first time, he said, "Mom, and that's it.
And that's somebody you revere, and you keep that memory close. And after that, something changed. A role model was taken away from you. That is so sad to hear. So many heroes are taken from our world, on this earth, proud, having people uplift them, and then they're gone so quick. But they live now in your heart, and now you're day by day proud to be a queer man because you had that inspiration. Is that, yeah? Do I have that right?
Always.
Yeah, during that time of living in Chicago, that's tough. And from my understanding, after high school, from reading your bio, you were involved in the theater. You started to dance, act, poetry. How did you get involved in the arts?
Well, that's interesting. After high school, I joined a program for Black, Deaf, no, 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 sorry, Black, Deaf, and Hearing theater program. It was called The Sixth Sense, and it was this, yep, this sixth thought. Yep, mhm. And so that's how I got involved in the theater. It was a specifically Black group. And so I got started in that group, and Coleman was one of the first members who was a part of that group early on in its founding days. And there was a Black woman who was hearing, she was the director of a company called Charlotte. Forget the rest of the name. Her last name was an African last name. And there was also Watkin at Atkin. Oh, sorry, I'm spelling it wrong. Atkin Swan. I think I'm remembering the name. Good. Pass them back to me. And so this was the sign name. And this sign name was because she had large boobs. I know, I know, I know.
So she was the director of the organization. She pulled you in, and that's when you met Coleman, and you guys, kicked it off, and you guys got really involved in the theater. Did you have a large role, being that you were deaf?
Well, it's interesting. When I joined the group, I wasn't really anybody at the time, I was kind of a nobody. I was, having small roles. I was a fly on the wall, kind of just observing what's happening around me. Which is ironic because that's kind of how I was in high school, a fly on the wall, visually seeing things happen around me. And then the director, and again, back then, you know, my skills weren't as developed, but the director, when Coleman was killed, uh, something changed. There was a growth that happened within me.
What happened? What was the growth?
Life experience. I just immersed myself in the theater with the Sixth Sense group, and I just became so involved. And the reason why I became so just immersed in the group was because of the pain that I had so deep within me. You know, I couldn't just go on as normal. I had to find a way to express that.
So Coleman gave you that fire. He was that fire physically that gave you, and then that fire came into the spirit. And you took that fire and you just exploded and expanded into different avenues of performance.
Exactly.
Let me tell you. So I was watching Lena. I think this is right. Lena. I was watching the actress Lena. I know Coleman was your role model. Was she your role model as well?
I really have 3. It was Coleman, Lena Horne, and the 3rd is Cagney. Oh, let me back up. Cagney. Savoy. It's spelled Cavoy. Cagney Savoy. Savvoy. Savoy. And the last name is Perkins. And that man,
He's like me? Whoa,
yes,
hold
he
on.
noticed me. And I'll explain why. He was a Gallaudet. And when I first went into Gallaudet, I went into the studio and I saw this thin, beautiful black man. Thin, 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 thin. Dancing alone in the studio. Beautiful movements. So fluid. And I said, who is that? And he just continued, unbothered by my presence, just continued. And then made eye contact and said, who are you? And I replied, Christopher. And he was so very just his presence. You know, he was just had that diva sense about him.
Obviously, if I resemble him, he must be a star. I want to go back. Correct me if I'm wrong. You were involved in Sunshine 2.0?
Yes. Yes, I was. I think in 1949.
Yeah, 1994. So you were involved in the theater. I think that was, where was that? What?
That's in Rochester, New York. NTID, National Technical Institute for the Deaf.
Yeah, RIT slash. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Right. And you have to mention it because he was one of the only Black members. I think that there was some Black members before me, but very few and far between. And they toured. He was involved in the touring. I'm trying to remember what town it was. It was in a different state. But first, let me start with Machine. Now, we were in another state. We performed a show. And it was such a culture shock experience for me. Some of the other performers were saying, I'm so used to seeing just old white men, 70s, 80s, 90 years old. And they said to have a nigger performing was, wow. They couldn't believe it. And this was an old deaf man saying this to me. You have to understand that this time was different. This was an old white man. And the trauma, that is behind the word. We went to Maine as well, part of the tour. And it was a deaf school, all white students. We went in. They were giving a workshop, and the white kids looked shocked. A Black man, a Black man. And so they just didn't know how to react. It was like they were reaching out their hands, wanting to like touch me. That it was just, and I had to say no. And I hate to ruin their innocence, but it was something that I had to do because it was a traumatic experience. Really painful.
I definitely want to touch a little bit on what you just mentioned. I want to clarify. So you entered Sunshine 2.0, started touring with Rochester, or Sunshine 2.0 in Rochester, started performing, traveling. You're one of the only Black actors. And you were traveling around the USA. And one town just, didn't identify that you were deaf, but rather than kind of labeled and kind of use that N word. That is, and then you went into a different to provide a program, a workshop for children to
And I
engage
was so naive at that time.
those children had never seen a Black deaf actor. They wanted to connect Oh, the fact that you're beautiful and you're human, but you
Yeah.
kind of put up that barrier, that boundary with the kids is their innocence and not understanding what they may have done wrong.
Mhm. Mhm.
I know for as a teacher, trying to teach something about it's not nice to be touched, uh you know but you welcome the connection. So there's a story. Arthur Mitchell, he traveled across the USA. He was one of the only black dancers involved in that company. I can't imagine being not only only black deaf, or being not only black but deaf as well. Segregation was prevalent. Having to be segregated in restrooms or in the group that you were with. If you had to be segregated, if you went to a restaurant, did you have to sit by yourself amongst the other white deaf performers? Is that something you experienced? You know, did Sunshine 2.0 kind of support being together? What was your experience?
Well, it's interesting that you bring that up. During the tour, I had to make choices. Either I can act out or I can keep my composure, keep my control. And I had to remember that I was a representation of the group, and I didn't want to have a poor reflection in front of the students.
Oh, okay. You don't want to be the role of the labeled as an angry deaf black man.
Right. Exactly.
You don't want them to tag you with the fear of the angry deaf black man. So you made an
Yeah.
ultimate choice.
Yes, that's precisely it. I played it as though everything was fine, and I had those choices, and that's how I decided to approach the situation as a reflection of something bigger than myself.
It was just kind of a way to meditate to get through. You have one option. You trying to figure out how to be a model to the children while suffering all of the pain and the resilience. That it's wonderful. Coleman gave you that fire to persevere. It's incredible to have that role model. A lot of people growing up have no role models. And that's why it's critical that you find a role model to give you strength in times of need. And it's incredible your story that you have sharing with us. Can you share a little bit about the Lena performance? The performance, didn't only highlight being queer, but do you mind sharing about that?
Not at all. So rewind to the young version of myself, about 7 years old. I'm a young child at that point, 7, and I saw an old movie. My family was sleeping at the time. It was just me awake, and back then, it was the old black and white TV, that box, no captions, and I was watching it maybe 1, 2 in the morning. I was supposed to be in bed, mind you, but it was the weekend, I think. I believe it was, and stormy weather came across that screen. I remember it, stormy weather. And so that was the movie that was playing at 1 or 2 in the morning, and that was where I saw Lena Horne for the first time. And she came across the screen, and I remember so well how majestic the sun was just shining on her, glistening, and the stormy weather performance was taking place. And the man had left her alone, and then it started to rain. And she was crying, weeping. And I remember this scene in this movie, and it all came to a still. And I remember as the movie came to an end, mind you, again, I'm 7 years old. 7. And I asked my mom, "Mom, these earrings." And the lipstick, red, crimson red. So beautiful. I put on these earrings, I put on the lipstick, and the grace that I felt, just channeling Lena Horne. And that's where it began.
Beautiful. Are you still performing as of today?
Well, everything's kind of in limbo now. Lena and Me, the show. It's kinda shelved. It's collecting dust at the moment. But, I'm ready for a performance again. That was a part of me, and I'm just waiting for the next one.
Before the show, Lena, before you performed, you were a dancer, actor, and then what happened? You were struck with MS?
Yes, I grew up, I was dancing for about 25 years, dancing, theater, this and that, and back
All
then,
right. Question for you. What genre of dance Modern.
Modern,
What about
predominantly
jazz?
modern, and mixed as well. Like Alvin Ailey, that kind of style. Yep, that movement.
So you were performing, dancing, 35 years.
Yeah, and I remember I was in Michigan. I was doing a dance. I was 45. I was running a workshop there. And I remember Rosalie. She was there from the beginning. She was there, and I was giving a workshop. I was going 5, 6, 7, 8, and then all of a sudden, boom!
What are you clap?
Everyone was looking at me, and when I came to, I was, what happened? They brought me to the ER and did a plethora of tests and came to the diagnosis of MS, multiple sclerosis. I said, MS? Needing more information.
Yeah, what is MS?
Layman's terms, a simple definition is that the nervous system, the nerves that run throughout your body, is it's disconnected from your brain, and it weakens the body. So typically your brain would send signals throughout your nervous system, which controls your body. And because those are weakened and disconnected, then your body weakens.
Did you just stop dancing? Was that it for you?
I thought it was it. I thought dancing, was on the shelf, and I was laying in the hospital bed for about 2 weeks wondering, what am I going to do? Just what am I going to do with the rest of my life? What are my options here? It seems like there's nothing on the table. And I was thinking how, something came to my mind, and I was thinking, okay, Lena Horne, she opens the door, and I thought, wow, okay, Lena and me. And so that's when it, started to move forward for me. And so I want to thank, I had a deaf teacher, wonderful Dr. Thomas. Last name was Holcob, HOLCOB. This was sign name. And I took a class that he was leading, and it was a part of deaf studies. He said, I want you to do a project. This project is focused on deaf pride. And I asked him, can I do this project about Lena and me? He said, yes. So that was the birth of Lena and me. That was at Ohlone College. And I passed with an A. Putting that out there, I passed that course.
Yeah, he's a writer. Yeah, he's an amazing, amazing person. I'm gonna show kind of a brief video of the performance. I think it's from Def Live page. Who owns that?
Matthew Moore. Yeah.
So I'm gonna go ahead and show the people.
Go right ahead.
He debuted in an African film in 1999. Master Infinity Mercy. With his one-man show Lean Me, he educates and tickles his audience. I have health issues. Most of them it's been 10 years till I stepped from MS. But the show must go on. So I continue to go through my life despite my obstacle. Now I'm here for my own show. Whoa. Yeah. Wow.
So when's the next time that we can watch Lena and Me? I remember you applied for a video festival.
Oh, yes. I was shocked when he helped me make my submission for the International Deaf Queer Festival. So I sent in my submission, and then my good friend, Dr. Drago, accepted it and said, "Congratulations." I said, "What?" I was speechless that Drago was able to provide me that opportunity.
Yes. So to have that film festival, I think it's coming up. Yeah. And that's where you'll have your Lena and Me once again shown. I remember, I think it was a few years ago when you performed Lena and Me in San Francisco. Now, I saw the performance early on in Fremont. I think if my memory serves me right, it was at the Deaf Community Center.
That's right. Oh.
And you had the opportunity to stretch out the performance. And so everyone, you guys have got to see that show to see something that's authentic. Lena and Me is about being Black, your struggle, a way in which that you wanted to be free, and you found that through the design, the music. And so when I saw it, it was destined to come to San Francisco for Deaf Louder. I was so honored to have that performance on the stage. If whoever's watching tonight, you must, it is a must of seeing that performance. It's an incredibly inspiring performance. It has history. It'll educate you. It's not just a simple story. No, it's the videography, There's just history. I can watch it over and over again. I was blessed to have it, and also to be one of my heroes. You've given me so many words to persevere. Even with multiple sclerosis, the show must go on.
Yes, it must. Oh, I hold it so dear to me.
So fat. Sam, I have a question for you. Yes. The order of the show. The game show for you. Okay.
Yep, we'll play the game before we have audience questions. You know what? Should we have the audience ask questions first, or go ahead and play the game?
Oh, honey, let's go.
Okay, all right. We'll go ahead and allow the audience. I know people are just on the edge of their seat to ask you questions. So now, members of the audience, this is the time to ask Christopher anything. Go ahead and write in your comments. It seems some people are interested in the game show.
Okay. Give the people what they want. Always be respectful of the audience.
All right, look, I'll tell you what. Go ahead. We'll save the questions until after the game.
That's fine.
Are you ready?
Okay.
Okay, so the rules of the game. You can name the person or describe what they do.
Okay. Oh.
Visual description: picture of an African American female, low cut hair, wearing a white V-neck shirt, looking artistically at the camera.
My sweet friend, Michelle A. Banks. She is, I tip my hat to her in such respect.
Yes. She's an incredible actress, writer, director, producer, founder of an organization, VOCA. She was in the series Soul Food. Visual description: a picture of an African American female appears in her light brown skin, leaning back on porch, its arms and glancing to the left to look at the camera, smile. Who is she?
Oh. Theones? I believe she was in Deaf West Theater. In their River production. I think she had a role in that. Trying to think of her name. I think it begins with a T. T something. T. Ah, yes. Yes, I remember. I knew it was a T.
Yep, she was involved in Spring Awakening. She's an actress, amazing actress. She did the national anthem. She signed the national anthem at the Phoenix Super Bowl. Visual description: picture of African American female, appears in a light brown skin with her folded arms, smiling at the camera. She wears a long black twisted hairstyle with a gold clip on one of her twisted strands. Blue navy suit jacket with a nice multicolor in cream, brown blue printed V blouse. Who is she? Margot Hall.
Margot Hall.
She's known as award-winning actor, director. You know the old theater, the old Lorraine Hansberry Theater?
Of course.
Yeah, she graced the Bay Area, that area, for 30 years. And now she's got a few shows on Netflix.
Was she on the TV show recently about the Lorraine Hansberry Theater? Okay, yes. Okay, she's a playwright.
Yeah, she's an incredible person. So for our next person, a visual description is a picture of a female African American, appears in a black and white photograph, smiling at the camera. She has a black curly short permed hairstyle, wearing in a black jacket and a med stud earring on her right ear. Who is she?
Lorraine Hansberry. Yes, wow. Playwright, writer.
On the money. This next visual description is a picture of an African American man, appears in a brown skinned with his silky black, long, flowing, wavy hair over the left shoulder, pounding down with his arms on his knees, looking at the camera, looking serious. He has some tattoos on his hands from his throat to his chest, wearing a plaid green, blue, white, unbuttoned blouse.
Maybe I'm too old school here. You're gonna have to excuse me. I'm a little bit disengaged from the younger ones now.
Yeah, different generation. Shaheem Sanchez. Yeah, he's a dancer, a choreographer, and he uses a combination of sign language and hip hop. He's popular on YouTube and called AJ Plus. And as of recently, an Amazon Prime movie called Sound of Metal. Visual picture of an African American man, appears in a brown skinned with his low cut blonde haircut, 2 white diamond stud earrings, black trimmed beard, goatee, and wears a black suit jacket with a striped bow attaching to his white closed collar shirt.
I worked with him many, many years ago. Aaron, and his last name is escaping me, but I know his first name is Aaron. Yes.
Yep. Aaron, last name Loggins. Yeah, lives in Chicago, or lives in Illinois. And now living in Washington, D.C. He's an incredible actor, model, motivational speaker. He was also a member of signing the national anthem at a Super Bowl. And he was alongside the singer Gladys Knight. singing the national anthem and America the Beautiful. Also, he outdid me at the Black Deaf King. So yeah, he's Mr. Deaf International in 2014, and he outdid me.
Wow, what growth he's shown. Oh,
I know you know her.
okay, hold on. She has to be hearing. Has to be.
Yep.
Okay, all right. Angela Davis. Black Pride.
Yeah. Angela Davis. Hold on, you've met her twice?
Yeah, I met her twice with an interpreter. Yep. Angela Davis.
Yeah, she's an American political activist, philosopher, academic, Marxist feminist, author. She's now a professor at the University of California, Santa Cruz. She's also a member of the Black Panther Party.
The Panthers. Mm-hmm.
Yep, over in LA. Who's that?
Oh, love. President Obama.
Visual description: very thin hair, light skinned, wearing a suit, navy blue jacket with a light blue, and stripes high. Yep, President Barack Obama, as the 44th president of the United States. He's the first Black president of the United States of America.
Yes. Oh. The interpreter screen froze.
Yep. Dr. Angela.
What is her? Oh, what is it? Oh, I don't. Oh. I know she's Carol's sister. I know.
Visual description: thin black hair, wearing a blouse, suit jacket, one hand on a pillar, looking at the camera. Hold on.
Oh, hello. I met her in person. I met Debbie Allen at Columbia in Chicago. I met her in person, face to face, with an interpreter, of course. And I asked her a question. I said, Debbie. She said, what's the question? I said, what's your motto? Just something that is always just at the forefront of your mind. So what's your motto? And she said, oh, I have many mottos. And said, I'm trying to remember one. And that was the question that I asked. That was my time with Debbie Allen.
Yeah, Debbie Allen. She's an actress, writer, dancer. Travels all over the world. She's one of my favorite to watch. I mean, you got them all. Man, whoo, you know your history.
One.
Oh, except one. Okay.
Except for one.
Yes, Shaheem, new generation dancer. But, I mean, basically, you aced it. Now, I don't want to steal much more of your time. I know we're almost running out. But this is the time for the audience. Go ahead and ask Chris. This is your time. Your time to ask Chris Smith anything you want.
Even if there's no questions, that's all right.
The question is, can we come to your house, eat some good food while you tell us your stories?
Oh, I'm so sorry. Right now, my refrigerator is not stocked. But you can still come anyway. Oh, hello there, Philip.
Oh, the statement is, I watched your show, Plants. What's the best advice for a new platform?
For a new plant? For a new planter, I think?
I
For a
think
new-
you have a plant show, right?
Well, oh, let me think of it. I had a cooking one. That was mildly successful. And then I was thinking about putting one in the works. So thank you.
Yeah, I think it'd be great. You could teach people about plants, how to care for them. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Question: who is your favorite dancer and musical artist?
There's a Russian dancer, very well known. Milho? I don't even know how to spell it. Oh, I'm so embarrassed. Oh,
That's all right. That's all right.
I know the initials are MB, but from the movie White Knight, The White Knight, with with uh, with um oh with Gregory. Thank you, Mikhail. Interpreter's not sure how to spell the last name. Yes, thank you. And I met them in person. I did get to meet them.
Question: what is your advice for the future deaf and hard of hearing people with multiple sclerosis, especially with their career?
Fabulous question. Short story. Throughout my journey with MS, at first I was very resistant towards it with my initial diagnosis. I didn't want it to affect my life in any way. I didn't want it to define who I was. And then, came the realization I'm not a bad person. And that MS isn't going to make me a bad person. It's not a bad person of itself. And so instead of casting it aside and not accepting it, I decided, no, I'm going to go ahead and form a relationship with MS. We're going to work together. It was a spiritual reckoning that I came to. And so I was going through this acceptance process with MS, and I just learned to let go, to just walk with MS.
Or dance with MS?
Exactly.
You don't have to separate a part of you. It's a part of your life.
Right.
Yeah? Wow.
That was a good question.
So the question is, if you can travel anywhere in the world, where would you like to go?
Paris.
Where?
Paris.
Oh, Paris. A question is regarding your film.
Thank you.
This question is, where can we find more information on the Deaf Queer Film Festival?
That would be the website. Deaf LGBTQ. I think I'm missing some of the rest of the website.
Don't worry, we'll go ahead and list it.
Great.
So, people, if you're interested in wanting to see the film, you can check out Deaf Queer Resources Center events celebrating hashtag Deaf LGBTQ Week. It is this week. You can follow them on Facebook, IG, Twitter at Deaf Queer. And Christopher Smith's video will be presented there as well. And it's an incredible show. Let's see, we have more questions being filtered through? I know you said you shelved Lena and me for now, but you got a lot of things coming up. You know, maybe a plant show. You know, what is next for you?
Well, I have 3 different projects going. I have my cooking with Christopher. I have the plant show as well. And then Lena and me. So between these 3 projects, I'll go back and forth. Definitely keeps me busy with things to do.
That's right, Chris. You never stop. Well, people, if you want to learn more, you want to follow Christopher on social media, you can find him at Facebook or IG at Christopher.smith.3956690. So that's where you can continue asking questions, diving into history, engaging in his rich experience. I mean, Chris only has limited time. He's a busy, busy human. Question is, where can we find your cooking and plant show?
Well, I'm working on it.
Do you have any final thoughts that you would like to share with the people? Anything you want to tell the people?
My parting words, go with the flow. Whatever happens, let it be. Go with the flow. Those are my thoughts. Especially for the young people.
Well, you said it all. Just go with the flow. Christopher Smith, What can I say? It's honored to have you here at Deaf Woke. I'm incredibly blessed that you've been open, sharing your resilience.
Thank you so much for having me here. It was such an honor and privilege to be here.
Love. And I'll see you later. Oh, wow. Did y'all enjoy yourselves? For me, I did. Christopher Smith. Just let y'all know he is incredibly humble. Wait, did you have some words that you wanted to share, Chris? Okay.
Wow. Well, keep in mind, I'm old school, okay? I've got that old fashioned in me. But this Deaf Woke show, it's similar to Barbara Walter. Barbara Walters, her show. More of like a Oprah, kind of a talk show. Oh, thank you. Thank you for these comments. Thank you for the love.
Wow, those are enormous names. Those are some big names. I'm honored. Wow, to be in the lights of those names. I'm humbled to have Christopher Smith on this show, sharing his story, sharing his truth, his experience in life. It's not always pure, beautiful, and night, and and light. His tragedy, who he looked up to, revered, Coleman, who was murdered, who gave him that fire, physically gone, but gave him fire to go on, to get involved, to be a representation, to be a role model for others. Representation is paramount. Role models is critical. It will have a profound impact on your life. Hearing, deaf, BIPOC children, blind children, seeking someone like them where they can mirror what their future could look like. That's why role models drive you. So whatever you are and whatever you're doing in your own life, you can be. Chris is living proof that you can strive. You can feel more connected, feel more alive. Where children look up to somebody who they can be. We need to uplift our children. So thank you all for watching this evening. Thank you so much. I want to say thank you to Christopher Smith. Thank you to the interpreters. Thank you to the audience. Thank you to HowlRound, Drop Labs, and of course, you for watching. Thank you so much. And if you enjoyed this, come on now, go and like on Urban Jazz Dance Company's page. Go, 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 go. Like. Please subscribe to our YouTube. Tune into our Facebook page. Oh, I can't forget about Pop Fish. Thank you for the Def Woke t-shirt. Now, if you want to see this Def Woke continue, please, if you have the funds to donate, you can donate at https://www.realurbanjazzdancecompany.com. Fortunately, this show does not run free, so we have a lot to offer. And we need, keep this hashtag stopped Asian hate, stop the white supremacy. Where are some of my hearts and lights? Let me see them. I do have an important message. Who's going to share it? Hello. I'm excited to announce applications for the Bay Area International Deaf Dance Festival in August of 2021 are open. This year, Deaf Dance Festival will be virtual again. We are accepting applications from dancers, actors, theater groups, artists, musicians, and all the likes. Whatever you like to perform. The purpose of this is to present your work. If you're interested in joining, you're welcome to apply. The application form can be found on our website. The application deadline is Saturday, May 1st. We have 4 basic requirements. You need to submit your performance video between 2 and 15 minutes. This will be the same as the festival. In the past, we've said to submit an audition video and then the performance video. But this year is different. We are requiring you to submit your performance video. At least one member of the group is deaf or hard of hearing. For example, this could be the choreographer or a dancer in your group. This is to ensure we give opportunity to the deaf and hard of hearing performers. You must submit 2 color headshots or a group picture. And this can be uploaded in the form. Please type in the description of what your picture looks like. For example, I will describe myself. I'm a white female with long blonde hair and wearing a long sleeve, button up purple shirt. Behind me is a cream color wall. Now, if you have any questions, you can contact me. Remember, the deadline is Saturday, May 1st. Looking forward to receiving your applications. Wow, cool. think one person had an interesting question. Is this live? Yes. Yes, it is. Deaf Woke. It is live. And it's live with you. So thank you. Thank you for allowing us to connect with you. Thank you for allowing us to be authentic on this earth. Thank you all for watching. And wherever you are, enjoy the rest of your day. However, what's coming up? If you want to see, go ahead and check out our page. There are so many people with stories to tell. And let us know if you would like to be a member of Deaf Woke. I am so incredibly inspired. Oh, I can't forget. Now, be sure to check out Deaf Queer Resources Center. Their events celebrating hashtag Deaf LGBTQ week. That's this week. You can follow them on Facebook, IG, Twitter, at Deaf Queer. I got to get out of here now. But thank you for watching. Thank you so much for your love. It's been an incredible day. Thank you, Christopher.